Well. It actually happened. Can you believe it? It actually happened. Wow. Wow. Oh, man. Sucks. But it kind of had to happen. So, it is official. Head coach Matt Rhule has been fired from coaching the Carolina Panthers after having a final record of 11-27 between 2 and a little bit of a third season. He has been cut. But he wasn't alone. Defensive coordinator Phil Snow and assistant special teams coach Ed Foley, who have ties to Matt Rhule, have also been let go. And defensive specialist Steve Wilks will serve as interim head coach for the rest of this season. Wow. They actually did it. I honestly thought they were probably going to wait until the bye week or even the end of the season, but nah, they went ahead and pulled the trigger. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, a record of 11-27, that's just not going to cut it. And I mean, ultimately, it's really not a surprise. I mean, it's maybe like a 10% surprise just based on the timing, but I think 90%, no, not really a surprise that this happened. I mean, after an obliterating loss to the 49ers at home, which Bank of America Stadium was pretty much taken over by 49er fans, I mean, that was pretty much the nail in the coffin. I mean, when it's that bad that you get destroyed in your home stadium, and at the same time, there are more Niner fans, more red than blue, and a lot of the blue were empty seats, that's how you know it got really bad. So, I mean, if anything, now the only thing is still got to pay the rest of Matt Rhule's contract. Because, I mean, he got signed for 7 years. And he got fired in year 3. Hey, what's up, Joe Valesco? He says, I knew it. Yeah. But I think word is that it's supposed to be like $40 million that is still owed to him. Because he signed a 7-year deal, which I still don't know why the heck Tepper even signed him for that long. I could see if it was like maybe a 3-year deal, but 7? Like, that was ridiculous. First head coaching job in the NFL, and he gave him 7 years? That's ridiculous. I mean, you just can't do that. You just can't do that. And now they're gonna have to, pay out what's remaining from that contract, because you just got let go at the beginning of year 3. So, That's a disadvantage with that. But I mean, like I said, starting the season out 1-4, his overall head coaching record is 11-27 between, 2 seasons and some change. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it could be just one of those that Matt Rhule's just not fit to be a head coach in the NFL. It seems like, maybe college is where he can potentially excel at. But NFL head coach, that's just not for him. It's just not for him. If I could just keep it real, it's just not for him. So there was that. And then the letting go of Phil Snow. I mean, that was one of Matt Rhule's guys. Came in when Matt Rhule came in. So, hey, assistant special teams coach Ed Foley. I mean, they had those ties with Matt Rhule. So, I mean, we can't be surprised that they left with him. Now, I know a lot of people feel that Ben McAdoo should be let go as well, which, honestly, being that Matt Rhule and Ben McAdoo really weren't on the same page, maybe let's see how things go. With Matt Rhule gone, let's see. I don't know how much of a difference that'll make as far as Ben McAdoo with the play calling or just, how much he'll have. But, I mean, with Steve Wilks as interim head coach, I mean, it's up to him. I like Steve Wilks, but here's the thing. He doesn't really have a good head coaching career in the NFL. Remember, he did not do well as head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, unfortunately. Great defensive coordinator, but head coach, he doesn't have a great head coaching record, if we can be honest with ourselves. So hopefully, maybe this will be different. We'll have to see what happens. But, maybe things will turn around for him now. Like I said, it's been a while since he's had that job. So who knows? Maybe he'll actually do decent. Now, I don't know if he'll be good enough to remain as head coach after the season, but I think we can all agree that there will be some changes. Going forward, starting next game, there will be some changes. So I hope the best for Steve Wilks. I mean, like I said, I like him as, a defensive coordinator. I mean, we'll see what he can do. We'll see what he can do. Let's see. Hey, Super Trebo. Hey, Jason Sup. Who do you think we might go for as new head coach? Good question. I mean, I remember seeing an article on Cat's Crave that was talking about potential head coaches. And actually, let me turn this light off. There we go. They were talking about names like Raheem Morris, Byron Leftwich, Eric Bieniemy, whoever that offensive coordinator for the Eagles is. But, I mean, those are a few names. I know folks mentioned Sean Payton, which, I'm a little biased on that due to the whole Bountygate scandal. But, I mean, those are some potential names I would think would probably have a good shot. who knows? I don't know if they would ever consider bringing in a Brian Flores, but he potentially could be a candidate. But I mean, I feel like there are some options, but I think they really need to really get started on digging into prospects and really evaluating folks. You know, don't jump the gun like they did with Matt Rhule. Actually take the time to examine prospects. That's what I feel like they should do. Joe Velasco says he didn't have weapons in Arizona. I mean, when you think about it, could we have had better weapons in Carolina when we had Cam Newton the Super Bowl run? Yeah, we could have had better weapons, especially on offense, but yet still had a bad record. So, I mean, I'm just saying, still had a bad record as a head coach. So, I mean, it is what it is, but he has a bad record as a head coach. Plain and simple as that. So, hopefully, like I said, hopefully this opportunity, he makes the best of it. Do I think he's going to remain head coach after the season? Probably not. But I hope he does his best. I hope he does his best. It does make me wonder. So with Phil Snow gone, I guess, is Steve Wilkes going to do double duty? Is he going to be head coach and run the defense? Like, that's another thing I'm curious about. And then, I mean, Ed Foley was assistant special teams coach. I mean, we got Chris Tabor, but it'll be interesting to see what Steve Wilkes does. But I'm guessing he's going to still, perhaps run the defense while being head coach, which, I mean, is fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to do, which he's qualified for. He is qualified for. Steve Wilkes is a very good defensive coordinator. So, we just have to factor that in. Plus, he's going to be interim head coach going forward. He said, his press conference, expect change. I trust him. Also, Baker Mayfield has a high ankle sprain. X-rays were negative, but MRI says high ankle sprain. He's going to miss some time, a couple of weeks. So PJ Walker will start the Rams game and going forward until Baker Mayfield recovers or Sam Darnold, whichever one recovers the quickest. But PJ Walker is starting quarterback for the Rams game and probably for the next couple of weeks. So I don't know if there will be any sort of turnaround, but we're going to see some changes. I mean, it's already bad enough. We got hit pretty hard by the injury bug. J.C. Horn, Jeremy Chin, Xavier Woods, Frankie Louvu. We got hit pretty badly with the injury bug. So that's another thing to account for as well. But like I said, we knew this was going to happen. Some thought maybe it was going to happen today. Some like me felt maybe by the bye or end of the season, but we knew this was coming. especially after how badly they lost to the 49ers. So, went ahead, did what they got to do. But yeah, it actually happened. Matt Rhule's gone, y'all. Matt Rhule is gone. Steve Wilkes, you're in charge now. You're the interim head coach. Know that you didn't go so well in Arizona, but here's your chance now in Carolina. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Also, word is that supposedly the Buffalo Bills, and I think maybe some other teams, have reached out to the Carolina Panthers about Christian McCaffrey. So, to be honest with y'all, I don't think Christian McCaffrey is going to be a Carolina Panther by the end of the season. I don't think he's going to be a Carolina Panther by the end of the season. I mean, to really put this into perspective, because we got to think, no more Matt Rhule, so we're going to be head coach hunting again. No more Phil Snow, so defensive coordinator position is going to be open. I mean, depending on if we decide to keep Steve Wilkes and promote him to defensive coordinator, or we let him go, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But we're going to be head coach hunting. And, Ben McAdoo is probably going to be next. But I think they're going to wait on Ben McAdoo. I think they're going to wait on him until perhaps the end of the season. Mainly because, while folks, say that he's bad, he is a veteran. He is a veteran. So they're probably going to let Ben McAdoo stay until perhaps the end of the season. That's my prediction. I know a lot of people want to see Ben McAdoo gone as well, or feel like he should have been gone instead of Phil Snow. But, I mean, Phil Snow and Ed Foley are let go because of their ties to Matt Rhule. Ben McAdoo will probably finish the season and then get let go. But I have a feeling he's not really going to be a keeper. So we'll see what happens with that. And like I said, PJ Walker's going to be starting this Sunday against the Rams, which is an away game. And Christian McCaffrey, feel like his time is running low with Carolina. I really don't think Christian McCaffrey will be a Carolina Panther by the end of the season. I can't see it. I can't see it. As much as that sucks, as much as folks, because, I'm a Christian McCaffrey fan. I like Christian McCaffrey. But we have to really evaluate his time here in Carolina. It hasn't really been fruitful. It looks good on paper stat-wise when he's healthy, but his time here in Carolina hasn't been fruitful. He's only had one playoff appearance, which I believe was his rookie year. But his time here in Carolina really hasn't been that fruitful. It really hasn't, y'all. We got to be honest with ourselves. It may ultimately be where maybe him going elsewhere and succeeding is best for him. As much as we may not want to admit that or agree with that, that might actually be what's best for Christian McCaffrey. And we're going to be in cap space purgatory at the end of the season anyway. And we're going to be in quarterback purgatory. So this might end up being one of those, exploring what the best options are, especially for coach for next season, and then really, seeing how that goes. Joe Valesco says, I'm looking at Dan Quinn for head coach. Dan Quinn? Heck no. Heck no. After that Super Bowl choke job? Heck no. No way. After that Super Bowl choke job? No. Mm-mm. Dan Quinn? Nah, y'all can have him. No. Mm-mm. Sorry, I can't agree with that one. Nah, he was there for the Super Bowl choke job. No way. Mm-mm. Can't do it. Nah, I think we need somebody legit. Somebody I think that's going to really make an impact. A Byron Leftwich, a Eric Bieniemy, a Brian Flores, what's his face? A Raheem Morris, the offensive coordinator from the Eagles. We need somebody that's going to make an impact. I know a lot of people want Sean Payton. He's not really on the list for me, but I guess Sean Payton. We need somebody that's going to make an impact. Dan Quinn, no. Mm-mm. Not after that Super Bowl choke job. But yeah. This is going to be an interesting remainder of the season, for sure. Definitely is going to be a very interesting season. But I think we can definitely expect big changes to come. This is a start. Let go of Matt Rhule, Phil Snow, Ed Foley. This is a start. I don't know how Carolina will do the rest of the season, but I think we can expect big changes to happen. There's a lot of stuff still to be decided, like, thinking about head coaching prospects, thinking about how they're going to get themselves out of cap room hell, figuring out about what they're going to do at quarterback, which I still think is going to end up being through the draft. Not because I want them to tank or anything, but I just, we're that bad right now. Hey, Kevin McFarland. Hopefully Ben Wackadoo too. Like I was saying earlier, I have a feeling he's going to stick around at least to the end of the season because he wasn't part of the Matt Rhule regime originally. So he's probably going to stick around at least for the remainder of this season. I don't know how much of an impact it'll be because him and Matt Rhule just weren't on the same page. So maybe with him gone, I don't know how much that'll help, but maybe that can change, maybe that can change. I don't know, but him and Matt Rhule just could never get on the same page, could not see eye to eye. So We'll see if Matt Rhule being gone will have any effect on that. But if they do let go of Ben McAdoo, which I don't think he'll make it past this season, I could see him getting let go at the end of the season. But we'll see. I mean, if anything, taking a look at PJ Walker is going to be playing for his job. With the quarterback situation as it is, he's really going to be playing to keep a spot on the roster. Kevin says, the whole team is just bad at this point. We might get better. It is just too much at this point. We may or may not get better. I don't know. I mean, Steve Wilkes is interim head coach. Like I said, I think he's a great defensive coordinator. He was head coach before with Arizona, and it didn't go well. He doesn't really have a good record as head coach, but it's been a handful of years since he coached in Arizona. So hopefully, maybe things will be better for him this time. We'll see. But he doesn't have a great head coaching record. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I figured it was going to come down to Ben McAdoo or Steve Wilkes getting promoted. I felt like it was going to come down to that. But oh, Mr. Gemini, what's up? Did you watch the David Tepper press conference? I actually didn't. I was over, as you can see, I got my hair cut. I was at my brother's getting my hair cut, so I did not catch it. But any specific quotes or notes that stood out from that press conference? I know I caught part of Steve Wilkes, but yeah, expect change incoming. Kevin says, our team just does not have the passion nor the skill to win. Look at the team like the Bills. They have more veteran leadership. Oh, we have the skill. We have the skill. No, I don't doubt that. I don't dispute the skill. We have the skill. It's just, if anything, Matt Rhule never had the locker room. Now, maybe they'll take it up a notch for Steve Wilkes, but on paper, we have the skill. I don't think that was ever an issue or a doubt, but just there's a lot of factors that play into why our record is the way it is. Coaching, player performances. But on paper, we have skill. But it's a lot of multiple factors that are causing us to not be so good. Receivers can't catch, though, on McCaffrey. Well, you do also know that a lot of Baker Mayfield's throws have been high and inaccurate. And if anything, I feel like the tight ends have had more trouble, Shi Smith specifically. But Baker Mayfield hasn't been making the best throws either. Not since preseason. Jarrett Cole, what's up? So that means letting go of all of the Temple and Baylor players this season. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, they have at least 7, 8 players on our roster from Baylor, I think. 7 or 8, something like that. Mr. Gemini said, he said that we had a losing culture and basically saying that he is the savior of the city. Who? Steve Wilkes? Steve Wilkes? Well, he could be. He could be, but it's got to start now. Oh, David Tepper said that about Steve Wilkes, or is it David Tepper that is the savior? Kevin says, I just mean players that are really good at football catch the ball very well, like Greg Olson and Steve Smith. If DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson and such couldn't catch the ball, they would have never had 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Just saying. Just saying. The pick six from Baker Mayfield, he threw over McCaffrey's head, which was a dump off. The interception he threw in the Browns game, Shi Smith, overthrown. Just saying. Mr. Gemini says, that David Tepper said that he is the savior and was irritated during the press conference. He's the same. Ugh. I did hear about him being irritated, though, during the press conference. I don't know if he's the savior of the city. I don't know that. That's pushing it a little bit, but I mean, we'll have to see. We'll just have to see. I don't know. But honestly, if you was David Pepper, or, Kevin says that is true, but they were great players, and those types can win games. DJ Moore is great, but is not that good of a route runner, yet has been getting wide open. Yet a lot of his yardage is yak. Three straight 1,000 yards receiving seasons. Not only that, he almost had 1,000 yards receiving his rookie year. The only thing that's really low is his touchdown count. That's all. That's really his only low, is his touchdown count. Kevin, dude, have you been watching DJ Moore play the seasons he's played with our team? There's a reason why he's a number one. The only issue that he had his rookie year, he had fumbleitis, and he has fixed that since then. Come on now. Multiple different quarterbacks with 1,000 yards receiving? Come on now. And not even great quarterbacks either. I mean, Cam Newton was the best he's had, but he's had 1,000 yards receiving seasons with multiple quarterbacks. Like I said, the only thing that's low is his touchdown count. But that's not 100% his fault. Come on now. Be a little reasonable. For our team, be reasonable. I mean, you think about Cam Newton, accuracy was never his strong suit, yet he won an MVP. Joe Valesco, if you want the Panthers owner, and if you was a Panthers owner and you got the number one pick in the NFL draft and you can choose any head coach, who would I choose? I mean, I can't say that I have one particular coach that I would choose. Like, I'd be open to like a Byron Leftwich. I'd be open to a Byron Leftwich, a Brian Flores. Like I said, that offensive coordinator from the Eagles, Eric Bieniemy. I would be open to those guys. Sure. Kevin says, I'm not saying he's not good, just saying the overall playing of all players need to get better. I understand that, but DJ Moore is the least of our issues. He's the least of our issues. How about tackle breaking receivers? DJ Moore? Have you seen his yak? That's what he's known for. Robbie Anderson's our deep threat. But DJ Moore, that's what he's known for, is yak. Because you have to also keep in mind, when we had Teddy Bridgewater, we only had a total of 20 successful passes of 20 yards or more when we had Teddy Bridgewater. So you have to think, Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore that year had 1,000 yards receiving. At least a good 60 to 70. Sorry about that. Hold on. At least a good 60 to 70%.
What in the world?
Their yardage was yak. Because you have to think, if the quarterback doesn't throw the ball that deep in a season, a lot of those yardage are yak. So DJ Moore is worthy of being called number one receiver on the team. He just doesn't have an elite quarterback to throw to. Could you imagine if DJ Moore had a Aaron Rodgers, a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson, a Dak Prescott, a Joe Burrow? His touchdown count would be higher. Joe Velasco says, and who will you pick if you got the number one pick in the NFL draft? I mean, honestly, I think I would have to consider quarterback. I would have to consider quarterback, mainly because Baker Mayfield, he's not the guy. He's not the guy. And I don't see us keeping him. I think we're going to have to consider going quarterback in the draft. I mean, we're already going to have a new head coach. I don't see anything specific between CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, and the other person, Will Levis or something like that, to really pick one. But I'm pretty open. Mr. Gemini says, there was a play yesterday where DJ caught it and juked like two defenders and ran it for another 15 yards. Yep, true. Very true. Kevin says, that is true. So you're saying that good receivers are better with increased quarterback play. I agree with you. I mean, after all, got to have somebody to get the ball to him consistently. And Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Teddy Bridgewater was hit or miss. So Jarrett Cole says, the news report asks Tepper if the low amount of Panther fans in the stadium is the reason why firing Matt Rhule. Tepper said, that was not the reason. I say that's cap. That is more the reason. I think that's part of the reason. I mean, I think that's the nail in the coffin. I would say that. I think that was the final nail in the coffin. I'll say that. But I mean, could be Cap. But I mean, to have that as your final game as a head coach, it's pretty embarrassing. So I think that's definitely part of it, but I mean, we got to admit is pretty embarrassing. So yeah. And you know, talking about, you know, our players right now, we have to also keep in mind we got hit by the injury bug. And not to mention, look at our offensive line. We actually have a good offensive line, something we haven't had in years. And we actually have a good offensive line. My thing is, you know, you have to look at how the offense is being ran. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, you know, some games he gets barely any carries. Other games he gets abused with carries. And he's pretty much the main source of the offense. We have not even given Deontay Foreman a chance at all this season, which is sad. Thankfully, finally, Terrace Marshall Jr. is playing. We haven't really been giving Tommy Tremble a shot, and he's supposed to be our multi-versatile tight end. You know, there's just a lot of players on our team that aren't being given chances. So, of course, it's going to make our offense look one-dimensional. That plus the stank play calling. Tepper's quote, "I will not support mediocrity in football." That is exactly what we are doing. Facts. Facts. If PJ Walker does better than Baker Mayfield, do you start PJ Walker again? Well, number one, Baker Mayfield's going to be out for a couple of weeks. And two, it's going to depend on his play. If he's lighting it up consistently, yeah, I think you got to go with the hot hand. Do I think that's going to happen? Nope. Because PJ Walker hasn't done that. He hasn't done that. So therefore, I don't think he's going to light it up. I really don't. We have to also remember PJ Walker ain't that good. He ain't that good. That man has 2 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. That dude is not good. Let's not kid ourselves. Kevin says, "I really miss the 2015 team. Of us winning those games and really like looking like we were unstoppable." I know, you know what I mean? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And also, when Cam Newton said that there weren't 32 quarterbacks better than him, he was right. He was right. Kevin says he is undefeated though. Stop. 2 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Stop. Come on now. Not to mention 2 of those interceptions he threw in the red zone in the Lions game that we won, which the defense got us that victory. Let's not kid ourselves. You funny. You're funny. He undefeated though. Come on now. Come on now. Undefeated. 20-0 Lions. That the defense helped us win that game. Stop kidding yourselves, Kevin. The man threw 2 interceptions in the end zone. Two in the end zone. Same game. PJ Walker, love the name. Jared Cole says, I heard CMC on the trading block. Again, guess which team? I heard it was the Bills, but it may be some other teams as well. PJ is not it. I don't know what's wrong with these fans. I don't know either. DJ Moore. But yeah, Jared Cole, I heard the Buffalo Bills. Which, honestly, that Niners game, the only bright spot from that game was Raheem Blackshear on special teams. That was really the only positive of that game. So, but yeah, Jared Cole, to be honest with you, I don't see Christian McCaffrey being a Carolina Panther at the end of the season or by the end of the season, to be honest with you. I feel like his best bet is to really go somewhere where he can really be successful, because his body has been put way too much on the line. Folks can say that he's injury prone or whatnot, but that's our fault. That ain't his fault. That's our fault. Kevin says, overall, I will end on this. I'm thinking our defense is better, but the offense needs to hold their own. Facts. Mr. Gemini says, do you think we should trade Brian Burns? Ooh. Honestly, no. I mean, we let Hassan Reddick go, which was pretty bad. Brian Burns made the Pro Bowl. I mean, honestly, I don't think so. I don't think we should trade Brian Burns. I mean, defense is fine. We don't want to pick apart the defense too much. You know, if anything, may want to consider letting go of C.J. Henderson. We should definitely let go of C.J. Henderson. I can tell you that right now. We need to let him go. But yeah, like I don't think I'd trade Brian Burns. Nah. Is he fed up? Probably. Jarrett Cole says Buffalo Bills will win a Super Bowl with CMC. Easy. I mean, they've been getting closer and closer each season. And honestly, my prediction was them to make it to the Super Bowl for the AFC this season. I mean, they've been getting closer and closer. What, they were in the weren't they in the AFC champion? No, wait, no. They were in the AFC championship like 2 seasons ago or something like that. But yeah, they were actually my pick to make it to the Super Bowl this year for the AFC. Bills are close. Bills are close. They're almost there. What if we get a first round pick for Burns? Well, here's the thing. So would y'all be comfortable building off of Amari Barno and YGM, which YGM has been playing, so that's good. YGM has been playing. Amari Barno, he's been banged up. But I mean, first round pick would be helpful. But I think but we have to also remember we're in cap room hell by the end of the season. So the cap room situation we're going to have to figure out as well. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. I mean, I'll have to take a look at the tankathon to see what. And the thing is, you know, shoot, even right now, I think they have us picking the number 1 pick of round 1 as of now. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff they're going to have to figure out. They're going to have to figure out the coaching situation. They're going to have to figure out the defensive coordinator situation, possibly, unless they get their coach and decide to keep Steve Wilkes and promote him to defensive coordinator. Got to figure out the quarterback situation because Baker Mayfield ain't it, and Sam Darnold, he's going to be gone because he's another 5th-year option. Going to have to figure out the cap room situation. And yeah, so this season just got even more interesting. And the Bills need a running back. Steve Wilkes needs to play Brandon Smith. I would love to see that because Brandon Smith, I felt like he had a great preseason. How about Cam coming back now? Nah. We can't bring him back to this madness. I know Matt Rhule's gone, but nah, we can't bring him back to this madness. Nah, we being of how we ran that dude into the ground as much as how we are running Christian McCaffrey into the ground. Nah. Let Cam do his thing. And a good 60-70% of the fan base don't even want him back. Because, I mean, they say he's washed. So, I don't think the fans overall would approve. But, But, yeah, I don't know, y'all. Not sure how Steve Wilkes is going to finish for this season. But he has a shot. Ben McAdoo, like I said, I don't think he's going to make it after this season. And the thing is, the coaching situation, because I'm sure whoever we get for a head coach, he's going to want to get his quarterback. Mr. Gemini says, I say we either get CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Could happen. Could definitely happen. But it might end up turning into one of those where that just happens to end up being who we can go after because of how badly we potentially finish this season. I don't know how much can happen. Steve Wilkes, PJ Walker is going to be starting a couple of games since Sam Darnold is still out, and Baker Mayfield's going to be out a couple of weeks. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to really see what happens. Jeff R., how's it going? Well, beginning. It is a new beginning indeed. No more Ed Foley. No more Phil Snow. No more Matt Rhule. And like I said, I know a lot of folks were surprised that Ben McAdoo didn't get let go, but Phil Snow and Ed Foley had the ties to Matt Rhule. Had the close ties to Matt Rhule. So draft and the quarterback's coming out, and Tepper said he wants to win. Does he want to win? I still question if he really wants to win or not. I still question whether he's telling the truth. I don't know. David Tepper just doesn't seem like one that cares a lot about winning. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm kind of shocked that he pulled the trigger, but he pulled the trigger. Jarrett Cole says, I like the Carolina Panthers to get the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey, who has coached with Carolina before, quarterbacks coach, if I remember correctly, or Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. Could happen. I know Ken Dorsey was a name that was thrown around quite a bit. I remember seeing on Cat's Crave, I think Ken Dorsey was mentioned. Sean Payton, but I'm biased on that because of the whole Bounty Gate thing. Byron Leftwich, Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator from the Philadelphia Eagles. Even some folks were saying Brian Flores, Raheem Morris. It was also mentioned that defensive coordinator from the Niners, actually. I don't remember his name, but the defensive coordinator from the Niners. Paul Mancini, what's up? What's up? What's up? Which coach or front office person of quality will want to work for David Tepper? I wouldn't. That's also a fair point. Who would actually want to come here and work under David Tepper? Also, we haven't mentioned his name yet. Scott Fitterer. Do you think he'll be safe? You think he'll be safe? Probably. I think he'll probably be safe. I think Fit will be safe. But if anything, I think, they'll be able to finally go out and get their quarterback, which is going to happen anyway, because Baker Mayfield is on his fifth-year option. Sam Darnold is on his fifth-year option. So one way or another, we going to be in the running for a quarterback after this season. Plain and simple as that. So, Paul says, here are a couple of OCs who could be quality head coaches. Greg Roman of the Ravens, Shane Steichen. That's who it is. Shane Steichen of the Eagles. Yes. Mike Kefka of the Giants, Eric Bieniemy of the Chiefs. That's a good list. Thank you, Jarrett Cole. D'Amico Ryan, 49ers defensive coordinator. That's his name, D'Amico Ryan. Yes. Joe Valesco says, is Sean Payton still in contract with the Saints? No. Not that I know. Because remember, he stepped away. So I would say no. But like I said, I'm biased towards Sean Payton because of the whole Bounty Gate scandal. So I'd really rather not have Sean Payton. But that's just me. That's just me. But nah, Paul Mancini, that's actually a decent list. That's a decent list. Jarrett Cole says he likes Greg Roman. Yeah. That's a good list. That's a really good list. Paul says here are a few DCs who would be in contention. Dan Quinn of the Cowboys? Heck no. Not after that Super Bowl choke job with the Falcons? Heck no. Brian Flores? Yes. D'Amico Ryan? Yes. Leslie Frazier of the Bills? Yeah, sure, why not? Jared Mayo of the Patriots. That's a name that was also mentioned on Cat's Crave. Yeah, I agree with pretty much everybody except Dan Quinn. Heck no to Dan Quinn. Mr. Gemini says it's really going to be interesting, though. I agree. Highly, highly agree. Highly agree. But my whole thing is they need to really go deep in evaluating the candidates. Take some time and go deep and evaluate these candidates before making any fast, rash decisions, especially once the offseason comes. Because that Matt Rhule hire was way too quick. Way too quick. That, plus they gave him 7 years, never head coaching once in the NFL, and they gave him 7 years to start? No. No. Paul says some facts on Sean Payton. Saints own his rights through 2024 season, so it will take any team multiple first and second round picks to acquire his rights. Oh, well, shoot. Well, if that's the case, they might as well take him off the table. They might as well take him off the table. Mr. Gemini says, what if Steve Wilkes does a good job? Do you think he could be the coach? Honestly, it would have to take the team making a huge comeback and making the playoffs for him to have a shot. Because like I said, Steve Wilkes does not have a great track record as a head coach. He did not have a good record when he was the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. So unless he can help bring this team back into playoff contention, I don't think they're gonna keep him at head coach. I think it's just gonna be for this season. Last thing is that Saints are very unlikely to trade Sean Payton to a division rival, except Payton going to Washington and or LA. He's got a point. He's got a point. He's got a point. We are a division rival after all. But I would love to see Steve Wilkes succeed, but I don't know. Nathan John, welcome. Go offer Jim Harbaugh a fortune like we should have done the first time. Jim Harbaugh over there with Michigan. Well, that would be quite a score if we were to get a Jim Harbaugh. That would be huge. That would definitely be huge. But, oh man, y'all, this has gotten interesting. This has gotten really, really interesting. Mr. Gemini says, how about bring Rivera back? I doubt he's going to want to work with under David Tepper again. I highly doubt he would want to work under David Tepper again. After he got rid of him, nah, don't see it happening. No way. Man. So we're going to be Sorry. Hold on.
What in the world?
But yeah, y'all, we gonna be looking for a new head coach. We gonna be looking for a new quarterback. Gonna be looking for a new defensive coordinator, possibly. And we're most likely gonna be looking for a new offensive coordinator as well. We got the cap room mess to deal with. Oh man, we got a lot of stuff to fix. We're gonna have a lot of stuff to fix. Paul says, I'm most interested in what role Scott Fitterer will or will not have moving forward. If there is not much trade activity these next few weeks, then he'll be a goner after the season too. Perhaps. I don't know. I mean, I think Fit is still safe, but anything can happen. Joe Valesco says, if the Panthers get the number 1 pick, I said select Bryce Young and hire Jim Harbaugh. That'd be sweet. Nathan John says, I think we let Fitty choose his own head coach. At least that is what a competent franchise would do. Yeah. Kevin says, I'm back because I don't like the other Panthers channels. You're the best. What? You mean you don't like Big Cat's channel or any of the other channels? Dang. I'm touched. But thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, like, I like C3. Yeah, C3 is good. I subscribe to them. But yeah, y'all. Baker Mayfield's out. PJ Walker. He's going to have a tough test going against the Rams. Oh, man. I like one podcast, Panther Nation podcast. Oh, yeah, they're good. Yeah, with Rashad and Dave. Yeah, they're definitely cool. Paul says, I would like to see Tepper reach out for the retired Steelers GM, Kevin Colbert, to offer him a VP of football operations and then come in to evaluate entire organization and then hire a GM/head coach. Oh yeah, Aaron Duncan is good too from the Unnecessary Blunt Sports Talk. Yeah, he's good. Mr. What Up Doe. Yeah, he's really good. Big Cat too. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Aaron is excellent. Yeah, I agree. I'm subscribed to him as well. Indeed. Definitely indeed. Panthers Roar 89. I actually don't know that one. I actually don't know that one. I have to check that one out. Pat Coltrane, I'm subscribed to him as well. That guy is funny. Oh, okay. I have to keep that in mind. I have to definitely check that out. But yeah, good suggestions. But so Paul, are you saying that, I mean, overall, are you not happy with Scott Fitterer, or is it just one of those you probably don't see him still being the GM after this season, or like, I don't know. I think he'll be safe, but I don't know. Coltrane is good too. Yeah, I like him too. But yeah, this was a big day. This was definitely a big day. But after the mollywomping we took at home to the 49ers, when they literally took over Bank of America Stadium, it makes sense that they went ahead and fired Matt Rhule. I mean, 11-27 in NFL head coach in 2 seasons and some change. Not good. I'm proud of the fans for not turning up. Dang. Well, the only biggest portion of blue that we saw in that stadium were empty seats. Paul says, I like Scott Fitterer, but just not sure what authority he actually has being under Rhule. I hope he stays. I see what you mean. Nathan John says, Tepper deserves to have empty seats and opposition fans. Dang. Well, let me ask y'all about Ben McAdoo. So, Ben McAdoo and Matt Rhule just were never on the same page. With him gone, do y'all think maybe Ben McAdoo can be a part of what helps turn things around? Or do you feel like Ben McAdoo is going to be gone regardless? What are your thoughts on that? Kevin says, I also hate Matt Rhule's stupid money laugh when he talks about the team and watching the tape. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is a pretty goofy laugh. Paul says, I also expect assistant GM Dan Morgan to have a more active role too. I could see that happen. I could definitely see that happening, Paul. Good point. He thinks it's funny to lose. All of the coaches do. Phil Snow said our run defense was decent. How? Well, I mean, run defense was fine in the Saints and Giants game, but yeah, the other games not so much. Nathan John says, no, McAdoo was a terrible hire and we only hired him because no one else would come here. Well, he wasn't a Matt Rhule guy, so that's probably the only reason why he was kept. But, you know, because he has no ties to Matt Rhule. Apparently the Bills have reached out about CMC, the Buffalo Panthers back at it. This is true, Nathan John, and honestly, like I was saying earlier, I don't think Christian McCaffrey will be a Panther either at the end of the season or by the end of the season. Mr. Gemini says Steve Smith is head coach. Shoot. I bet you Steve Smith would have this team in line. Whether Steve Smith was head coach, offensive coordinator, or wide receivers coach, I bet you he would light a fire under this team. Shoot. Let Steve Smith be on the Panthers head coaching staff or the coaching staff as a whole. Shoot. Y'all wouldn't want that. Y'all wouldn't want him to light a fire under this team. Shoot. Stop playing. I think Ben McAdoo will become more creative. Maybe. Jarrett Cole says Ben McAdoo gone, Steve Wilkes gone. Could happen, especially by the end of the season. Nathan John agrees. Kevin McFarland says Steve Smith and Luke Kuechly as coach, with Greg Olson too, and maybe Kurt Coleman. Interesting squad. Very interesting. Paul Mancini says, I heard Tepper wants to talk to Chip Kelly of UCLA. Good. Oh, heck no. Heck no. No. They better not even entertain the idea of Chip Kelly as our head coach. Oh, heck no. I had to deal with my brother complaining nonstop when he was coaching the Philadelphia Eagles. No. Chip Kelly, my butt. No. He better not set foot in Charlotte, North Carolina. He better not set a pinky toe in Charlotte, North Carolina. Nathan John says the players today couldn't handle Steve Smith. They need to be coddled. They can't handle criticism. Actually, he has a good point. Because Steve Smith don't play. If he does that, I'm finding a new sport. Time to give up. Jeez. Oh, man. Luke makes a good offensive coordinator. He's a great play caller. Wait, Luke? Offensive coordinator? Or do you mean defensive coordinator? I'm confused. I think Steve Wilkes will do a good job under the circumstances, whether it's good enough to remain as head coach or maybe be the defensive coordinator in 2023. We'll see. Good point. Jason says no. Heck no. Kevin says I would quit on this team if we hire Dan Quinn. This team is overwhelming. Yeah, I would not want Dan Quinn either. I'm sorry. After that Super Bowl choke job, I don't even want to see Dan Quinn. Heck no. Heck no to Dan Quinn. Actually, a former head coach who could be a good fit is Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio? That name sounds familiar. Vic Fangio. Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha, Jarrett Cole. I figured defensive coordinator. I would love to see Luke Kuechly as either linebackers coach or defensive coordinator. Nathan John says they are one bad hire away from me giving up. I mean, they did well in the other areas of the coaching staff, at least, but there's definitely some tweaking that is very necessary. Definitely some tweaking necessary. So, I can't keep supporting this 5 or 6 win team with no direction nonsense. Yeah, they're definitely going to have to fix that. They're going to have to really fix that. I mean, this offseason, they're going to have to really go hard on a quarterback. Because like I said, draft or no draft, we're not going to have Sam Darnold. We're not going to have Baker Mayfield. So they're going to have to go hard on a quarterback, and realistically, the draft is probably the best bet. Yeah, Steve Smith, head coach, and Luke Kuechly is the defensive coordinator. Ooh, I would sign off on that. Paul says a player who should be released tomorrow is C.J. Henderson, who has literally cost them 3 games this season and is weak-minded to play in the NFL. Yeah, and I know I had high hopes that C.J. Henderson would bounce back, but honestly, C.J. Henderson, he may have to go. I just don't think C.J. Henderson is going to work. I just don't think he's going to work. He's had too many drive-costing plays. Keith Taylor did play yesterday. He did play. He went in for J.C. Horn, apparently. The Broncos. Oh, yeah, the Broncos' old head coach, Vic Fangio. Oh, ooh. Kevin says, I think we need to get the guys ready and play well. Steve Smith would do that, but would the players it's appropriate football? I do agree that it would really take a fire lit under these players for them to actually play well or play better. Nathan John says, I blame Tepper. Thank God we didn't get Russell Wilson, though. How right was I, Blitz, when I told you he was washed up? What's the thing going on over there? Their offense is just looking pretty bad. Isn't that what's going on with Denver right now? Their offense just ain't really hitting on anything. Some say it's the system that's messing them up, but I don't know. I'll take your word for it. But yeah, I've been hearing that he's been a struggle with Denver. Paid him a lot of money too. It's okay, bro. Carolina Panthers have a bright future. Here's hoping. Let's see. Paul says, I would trade CMC, Robbie Anderson, and Shaq for future draft capital. Oh, man. CMC, I could see happening. Robbie, I mean, we did give him a 2-year extension. Shaq probably could happen as well. Just, I don't know. Shaq just hasn't really been able to bring it like he did when he played around TD and Luke Kuechly. So, yeah, that actually could happen. Nathan John says, I agree. CJ is done. Yeah. I'd be playing Keith over Dante and CJ. I'd trade both CJ and Dante. I don't know about Dante. Otani X Cody, what's up? Paul says CJ Henderson energy level, body language, and overall lack of confidence and heart just doesn't belong on any NFL team. Hate to say it, but facts. Everyone blaming the coach, but Russ has been god awful. Oh yeah? Been a combination of both or what's up? But like I said, I'll take your word for it. I hadn't really been paying attention, but I'll take your word for it. We got to play them this year too. We got to play them this year. That's right. So hey, we might have a chance that game then, if that's the case, Nathan John, because we play them this year. That was a lazy hit by Shaq. Yes, I know exactly what hit you're talking about. Facts. Vic Fangio, defensive coordinator of the 49ers and Bears' great defenses, and then became head coach of Denver and was shortchanged in Denver. Ugh. Kevin says, I hate Robbie Anderson. I'm sorry. He just fumbles the ball a lot and is not very good. He had one fumble. Yes, both. Good. Are you doing all right? What are you doing these days? Oh, I'm doing good. Mostly work, Latin dancing, church, pro wrestling, gaming, Carolina Panthers talk, all of the above. Russell Wilson's skill set does not fit Denver's new coach scheme. It's like oil and vinegar. Jeez, that bad? Wow. Dang. Maybe Nathan John was onto something. Holy crap. Jeez, that bad? That bad of an imbalance? Wow. And we're talking about Russell Wilson, been to the big dance twice, 1 for 2. But dang, that bad? Jeez. Who's known for usually making it to the playoffs. But dang, he just hit a new low? Yikes. And also, we have to also keep in mind Kevin McFarland, who Robbie Anderson has had throwing the ball to him in his NFL career. Sam Darnold twice. No, 3 times. Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater, little bit of Cam Newton, Baker Mayfield. I'm just saying. Jarrett Cole says, which quarterback will you want to draft? You know what? I can't say that I have a favorite. Like, I mean, y'all help me out. Because my college football knowledge isn't that strong, unfortunately. But y'all help me out. I mean, CJ Stroud looks good. Bryce Young looks good. I mean, who's everybody's favorite? I can't say that I have a preference, to be honest with y'all. I can't say I have a preference. Like, educate me, actually. Like, what quarterback stands out the most to y'all? I'm curious. Because I hear a lot of people say Bryce Young. I hear a lot of people say Bryce Young. I hear a lot of people say CJ Stroud.
What in the world?
I hear a lot of people say Will Levi's or Ryan Levi's. Somebody correct me. I keep forgetting these names. But Will Lewis from Kentucky. Gotcha. Really, Kevin? Tom Brady, PJ Walker. Wow. Broncos coach Hackett is from Packers and West Coast style and a rhythm timing offense, which is not in Wilson's skill set. Wilson likes deep drops and looks for the big play. That's a good point, actually. That's a really good point. Mr. Gemini says, I don't know who we're getting, but it's one of those. So don't have a preference. I see. But yeah. Jarvis Landry is pretty good. Yeah. I know he's dealing with some injury woes, but yeah. Here's 3 quarterbacks I really like in this draft. M. Penix of University of Washington, Will Rogers of Mississippi State, Grayson McCall of Coastal Carolina. What? Weird. Interesting. Wowzers. It's an interesting list. It's a very interesting list. But Will Levi's is the Josh Allen type of quarterback. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Which quarterback is the... Bryce Young is the Ohio State quarterback, correct? Bryce Young? Oh, so CJ Stroud is the OSU quarterback. Bryce Young is from Alabama. Gotcha. Thank you, Vietnam. Thank you. And welcome. Paul says Jarvis Landry is at the end of his career. He is getting up there in age. That's a good point. But yeah, he is getting up there in age. Nobody, because no player would want to ever want to come to Carolina anymore. I mean, that's a fair argument. That is actually a fair argument. Will Levi's of Kentucky is not athletic enough and will struggle at the NFL level. Interesting breakdown. Now, y'all know what they say about Ohio State quarterbacks. So, do y'all think CJ Stroud could break the curse? Because apparently Ohio State quarterbacks haven't really been that successful in the NFL. So, do y'all think CJ Stroud could break that curse? Bryce Young is only a 195-pound quarterback, and he'll return to Alabama for 2023 season as he isn't physically ready yet. Oh, so you don't think there's a chance he'll declare for the next draft? Interesting. They want to go to the teams that treat them well and have good players to win the game. The game's on the line. The Bills are the Chiefs. I mean, that's a fair point, Kevin. It's a fair point. Paul says CJ Stroud is a quality prospect. I follow more the transferable skills to the NFL. Bryce Young is only 6 feet tall. I want us to get Stroud. Oh yeah? How tall is CJ Stroud? Was he like 6'3" or something? No, I don't with his injury. These kids make money now. So, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, Stroud is 6'2"? Oh, okay. Right on. 6'2", 6'3". Okay. So pretty much it sounds like the favorite, I guess, is CJ Stroud. So they can make money in college and not be forced to go to the NFL. Oh, okay. So 6'3". Okay, 6'3", 6'3". Josh Allen struggled early in his career, and look how he turned out. The same will be for Will Levis. That's a fair argument. That's actually a fair argument. Josh Allen started off struggling with Buffalo, and then he gradually got better. Got some good pieces around him, but he eventually did get better. Ohio State is a really good team. Facts. But yeah, that's another thing. Vietnam makes a good point. He was good too, but we'll have to see after the combine how things look. Good point. Josh Allen has always been an athlete. His only concern was his accuracy, not his athleticism. So Paul is predicting that Levi's will struggle in the NFL. So Paul, are you saying he will be a bust? You think he'll be a bust? Will Levi's of Kentucky, you think he'll be a bust in the NFL? Because I'm hearing a lot of folks saying that we need a quarterback that's a pure pocket passer, not a running quarterback, which I do agree to an extent. I definitely agree to an extent. So, but it'll also be interesting to see what happens, because I got a feeling that Lamar Jackson will also be on the market. I don't know what teams could potentially land him, but I don't know if Baltimore will end up keeping him. But I think overall, I could see Carolina looking to the draft for their quarterback. I think it's that time. The last time we did that was with Cam Newton. You know, it's been long enough, so it might be that time. It might be that time. Vietnam says, I don't want a run first quarterback either. I want a smart, beat him with my arm kind of guy. Yeah? No, I feel you. I feel you. Paul says, not a bust, but a marginal starter. LOL. At this Look at this year's tape when playing decent teams. He struggled. Aubrey, what's up? What's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hello, my folks. Levi's will struggle, which all the rookies do, but I strongly think in my gut he's that guy. And what do y'all think about Kenny Pickett? Kenny Pickett's been struggling. I feel for Kenny Pickett. He's been struggling. Whoa. So I just saw a pop-up. Somebody confirm this when they get the chance. I'm hearing word that CJ Henderson got arrested. Oh Lord. Somebody confirm that. I'm on my phone right now, but somebody confirm that. Apparently I'm hearing word that CJ Henderson got arrested. Oh jeez. Alrighty, Kevin, thanks for coming through. Thanks for chatting it up with us. I have to go now. I'm tired of this team. Seriously. Yeah. I think Black Matt Rhule. Like I'm in the Discord, Big Cat's Discord. I think Black Matt Rhule tagged. Hold on. Let me see if I can actually background this. I think I can. Oh, okay, y'all are still with me. Okay, cool. Nah, somebody in the Big Cat Discord, Black Matt Rhule, mentioned it. So I was trying to see if there was any article. Or anything. Let me see. Disregard. Bad date. Early date. Disregard. Yeah, disregard. He just realized that he had a bad date. Bad date. It's old. So disregard. But yeah, this was in the point that I was making last year. That was the point. Steve Smith just said it. That was the point that I kept making to all the Cam haters last season. Steve Smith just said it. I'm here. Can y'all see me? I'm still here. But that was the point that I kept making last season about Cam Newton. Like, how can you expect any quarterback coming in week 10 and getting the But yeah, like, my whole thing is, yeah, Aubrey, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And that was the main thing that I was trying to point out. And Steve Smith said it. And I got so much crap from it. It's like, you can't expect any quarterback to come in middle of the season and just click with the playbook like that. So yeah, I agree. I agree with Steve Smith on that. I agree. I definitely agree. So And, Steve Smith said it best. So that's my whole thing. That's my whole thing with that. But anyways, but yeah, I'll reiterate one last time before I head on, because I gotta get home, gotta eat some din. About ready for some din. Matt Rhule gone, Ed Foley gone, Phil Snow gone, Steve Wilkes promoted to head coach, interim head coach. Baker Mayfield out with a high ankle sprain. PJ Walker will start against the Rams and going forward, I guess, until Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold or whoever is ready to go. We'll see what happens. Aubrey says it's cool though because they are feeling it now. Yeah. Oh, they're feeling it. They're definitely feeling it. Paul says, look at the quarterbacks who moved to new teams this year. Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, Mitchell Trubisky, Carson Wentz, and Baker Mayfield. Name one of these quarterbacks who has played well. He's got a point. None of them. He's got a point. He's definitely got a point. But anyway, I'm going to end on that note. In about a day or so, I'll do a preview video, a preview stream for the matchup against the Rams. That's an away game. So we'll do another live stream for that. But yeah, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I know this was, breaking news and this was very sudden, but hey, this was big news. Had to get on here. Paul says Jacob Eason could be number 2 this week if Darnold isn't healthy to practice. Baker will be out 1 to 2 weeks. That's a good point too. He could get promoted from the practice squad. But yeah, changes are coming. It started today. It's gonna get interesting. It's gonna get really interesting. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, I'm about to go eat for another Carolina Panthers talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming, here on the U to the Tube. Thank y'all so much for joining. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the stream. Hit that notification bell. Oh, yes, Aubrey says, it's time to get back to the Raiders Chiefs. Yes, watch that game and enjoy. That's my dad's team. He's a Raiders fan. Anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. I'm about to fade into the darkness, and I will see y'all very soon in the next video.